Hello YouTube and welcome back to my Booster Course Pass prediction video. Anyways, I'm making this one a lot sooner than I originally planned because with the release of Wave 2 came a big data mine. You know, I was fairly confident that Nintendo learned their lesson not to leave a bunch of stuff left over in the code as they released Wave 2. So I made my predictions back when Wave 2 was announced. Yeah, bad call. It's Nintendo. We got a really big one. I'm going to take full advantage of all of these. In fact, Wave 3, I barely have to predict because it is all but guaranteed. Anyways, you may be wondering what is this giant leak. It is essentially a quote-unquote music leak. I say quote-unquote because it's not the music itself that is left in the game's files. But in the game's files, they left the music beginning parts. Because if you were to play a track, there's a piece of music that you'll only ever hear on the first lap and the third lap, which is the intro. A good example of from Coconut Mall is the very intro part until the ding part. That is all part of the intro part. I'll play it right now. That is essentially what was leaked for these tracks. That bit of music. We don't know anything else. And with that also came file names that allows us to pretty accurately predict where these tracks fall in their waves, and combined with the prefix data mine and the banner data mine, we can pretty much guarantee at least 13 tracks. I say 13 instead of 14, even though the music leak had 14 tracks for one reason. Anyways, one last thing before we move in. There's a couple things you'll notice. If it has the text blank before the game of origin on the predictions, that means that in the original prefix data mine leak, there was not any prefix. In some cases, I do think this is going to go to Tour or Nitro tracks. In others, I think this will go back to Classic Retros. We're using the first two waves, as well as what we know of the third wave, as proof. I think it is safe to assume that most waves, if not all waves, will consist of 5 proper Retros, 2 city tracks, then 1 other, which could be another Tour track like Ninja Hideaway, another city track like you will see in Wave 4, or a Nitro track like Sky High Sunday in Wave 2. Also, if it has an asterisk, that means I think that the track is all but confirmed and is extremely safe to predict. You will see a lot of those in Wave 3. Anyways, with Wave 3, we got Tour London Loop, DS Peach Gardens, GBA Broken Pier, and 3DS Rock Mountain. I think London Loop, even without the music leak, was a safe guess, as most people were assuming it was going to be in Wave 2 before Sydney came out of nowhere and was absolutely amazing. I just think it's safe. And then the music leak, of course, I don't have much to say. Peach Gardens was actually my first prediction video, but I actually got rid of it in the previous one. Since I put more Tour tracks in the previous guess. I previously had Luigi's Mansion here, and I'm going to be honest, if you are a huge DS fan, you gotta start panicking whether you'd like Airship Fortress or Luigi's Mansion more, because there's a good chance we may only get one of them. I got both of them on this prediction video, but I don't know. I don't feel too confident on Luigi's Mansion. But Peach Gardens has essentially been quote-unquote confirmed again. With data mines, you never know. They may change. I mean, this is Nintendo, so there's a good chance that they won't change, but they always can change. So even though we have music in there, who's to say that they're not just going to scrap it out of the blue and do something completely different? Corporations can scrap completed products for multitudes of reasons. Next, we got GBA Broken Pier, which you may notice is the only one here without an asterisk, and in fact, the only one in Wave 3 without an asterisk. That is because the music is shared between Broken Pier and Boo Lake, so us finding the intro bit of music in the code doesn't narrow it down, especially since this is not in the banner leak. The next cup, I actually lock and insert in a track that actually has music shared between 2 just because of the banner leak, but neither Broken Pier nor Boo Lake are, even, to our knowledge, in the banner leak. Nothing looks like them. I'm personally guessing Broken Pier because I like it a lot more as a track, but so far the first 2 waves, there's always been at least one dud track, and with my predictions, Wave 3 doesn't have a dud track, so it definitely would make sense for it to be Boo Lake, as I kind of think that'd be a dud, even though I don't care for Peach Gardens. And obviously, ending out this cup is Rock Mountain. For once, Nintendo's actually making sense with putting something in the right cup. Sydney, Boomerangs, you know, it made sense. Didn't happen. But at least, most likely, we're getting Rock and Rock Mountain. I don't have much to say in Rock Mountain. It's one of my favorite courses in the franchise. I think it's heavily underrated. So, getting the quote-unquote confirmation that is almost for sure locked in for Wave 3 is incredible to me. I am so happy. Anyways, Moon Cup. We got Chor, Burl, and Byways. Way earlier than I thought it would be. Just saying, I thought we were going to get away later, but combined with the fact that we got Sydney Sprint now, it's not too mind-blowing. And plus, the file name on the music says that it is right after Rock Mountain and before GCN Waluigi Stadium. Now you may be like, why is there an asterisk? This track shares the same music with Mario Coliseum. That's because Waluigi Stadium is most likely in the banner that was leaked with Wave 1. A track that looks a lot like what is probably the starting line of Waluigi Stadium was there, which is why I'm locking it in. Same with Merry Mountain, Tour Merry Mountain, which was actually a blank spot in the prefix leak, but would fit in with Sky High Sunday and Ninja Hideaway being a third quote-unquote tour track or non-retro, proper retro track. Plus, the music says it is in between the GameCube track and our next one, 3DS Rainbow Road, which actually has two music prefix things, I can't remember what they're called, in the file, one for the Moon and one for the regular track. Because I believe them, I don't know, I actually don't remember if the music starts over. I'll have to replay Mario Kart 7 for that. Either way, we're looking at a really solid Wave 3. With these 8 tracks, I mean, with the 8 tracks that I predicted alone, I consider 6 of them to be bangers, honestly. I've never been a Merry Mountain fan. I've never been too big of a Peach Gardens fan, but the other 6 are absolute bangers to me. And while I would much prefer, like, Lakeside Park or Sunset Wilds, we'll get to that one later, or, like, Airship Fortress, or a couple of city tracks, or while I come see, there's a lot of tracks I'd like here. I think this wave's hard to complain about. I think it's really, really solid. It has a lot to offer. Anyways, Wave 4, we're going right on in with Tour Amsterdam Drift, Wii DK Summit, DS Airship Fortress, and a blank track that I think will be N64 Wario Stadium. Again, Amsterdam seems really early compared to what most people's predictions were, but you know, we got Sydney, one of the more recent city tracks, as the 4th one in Mario Kart 8, so when the city track debuted in Tour means nothing of when it's going to debut in 8. Especially since Vancouver Velocity, well, you won't be seeing it for quite a long time on this list. DK Summit is supposedly in the banner. There's no music for it, so I'm not going to lock it in, but it probably was on the banner. Could be Wave 5, but I do think it is extremely likely. DS Airship Fortress, I don't know. This is just me going with the fact that Airship Fortress is in Mario Kart Tour, so it'd be easier to bring over, and it's a fan favorite. It's not in any of the Datamines, other than the fact that that is a DS spot in the prefix Datamine. So unless Nintendo changes things, that will be a DS track. Finally, I ended this wave off with N64 Wario Stadium, the last N64 track that has not been remade. If I'm being honest, I think this is one of the least likely predictions. I think the N64 ones on this prediction are the least likely. Though I still think we're getting N64 Wario Stadium since it's the only one not brought back. I see no reason not to now. I imagine it'll be coming to Tour soon, quite honestly. It'll probably share music with Royal Raceway that's in Mario Kart 8, which is a little bit of a shame. So maybe they will put Frappe Snowland or BK Jungle Parkway instead. But I heavily doubt it. And the reason why I didn't put a tour track here or a nitro track here is because there is a second city track in the Boomerang Cup. In fact, speaking of the Boomerang Cup, we got 2 more locked in here. Tour Singapore Speedway and Tour Los Angeles Laps, sandwiching this wave. Both are locked in. Again, like I said at the beginning, I think every wave's going to have 5 true retros, 2 city tracks, then 1 other, with Los Angeles Laps being the other of this wave. Especially since that quote-unquote other track seems to always be the second cup. So far, based on the first 3 waves, the ones that are actually released, and what we know of wave 3, I think it's safer to assume that the Fruit Cup is going to have a proper retro as its blank. Anyways, to fill in the middle parts, I put GBA Cheep Cheep Island and GCN Dino Jungle Jungle. Both are in tour, which I think makes them a lot more likely than, let's just say, GBA Lakeside Park. As much as I want that track, it's not in tour, which doesn't rule it out. Shroom Ridge currently isn't in tour. Snowland's not currently in tour. So that doesn't make it impossible, but I do think it is less likely. Since, if you look at Shroom Ridge, it does look like it is from tour. So they're clearly planning to bring it to tour at some point. So while it's not impossible to be something other than Dino Jungle and Cheep Cheep Island, I just think they make the most sense. I frankly thought these would be back in wave... I thought these were going to be in wave 3 not that long ago, but I was clearly wrong. But you know, again, looking at this wave 4, if this is what you get for wave 4, I wouldn't be as pumped as wave 3, but it still has some absolute bangers. With the ones I'd be most excited for would be Airship Fortress, Dino Jungle, Cheep Cheep Island, and Los Angeles Laps. Those 4 I love. Not as much of a fan of the city tracks though this time around. Not my favorites in tour. Anyways, wave 5. You see, there's 2 tour tracks here that I just don't know. I think it is safe to say that the first one will be a city track. The final one at the bottom is for sure a tour track, according to the brief fixes. It is a tour track. So, there's supposedly Datamines and Mario Kart Tour of a Yoshi Island track, so I assume here we're either going to get another city track or that Yoshi Island track. Either way, I'm down. And anyways, before we talk about Wii Koopa Cape and Sunset Wilds, if you like this video and like the predictions, it would mean a lot if you like, comment, and subscribe. And also leave your predictions down below, what you think of my predictions. Anyways, Wii Koopa Cape. This one's in tour. It seems to have been on the banner leak. So, I feel like those make it pretty likely. And then Sunset Wilds is on the banner and has music. So I think this one is extremely likely. This is according to the music, because like it has the file name. So you got like, I think the first one's either 31 or 32, and then you just go in sequential order for all of the wave 3 ones, and run right into Amsterdam Drift as well. And then it misses 3 spots before going back into Tour Singapore Speedway and all that. So I do think it is safe to say that this is the correct placement of Sunset Wilds as well. Again, things can change. It's Nintendo, but I do think that's the correct placement, and this cup could be extremely good in my opinion. Especially if they don't use the truncated Sunset Wilds from Tour, but that's just being hopeful. On the next one, we got another locked-in track with Tour Bangkok Rush. Not gonna lie, this is the city track I'm most excited for, just because Bangkok Rush 1 is probably my favorite Tour Nitro track. I'm gonna be honest, I just love it. I love everything about it. I love how it looks, plays, and the music. GCN Daisy Cruiser. Now, obviously, the time of year doesn't really matter too much for these waves, since we got Snowland in the summer wave, but Daisy Cruiser, wave 5 will probably be sometime in the summer. Makes sense. Also, SNES Bowser's Castle 2. This is unchanged from my previous one. I'm still of the belief, stupid belief probably, that it seems highly unlikely that Nintendo would choose to take 2 2D ice tracks. So I think it's very unlikely to get a Vanilla Lake and Snowland. Obviously, that probably has never stopped Nintendo. But Bowser's Castles, like Vanilla Lake, have also never been remade. And I don't think we're going to get a GBA Bowser's Castle, because I think other GBA tracks are just more likely. So I was like, I think we should get a bunch more Bowser's Castles. Let's make it an SNES one. And Bowser's Castle 2 is probably the most famous one from SNES. So let's go with it. And for the blank, I put 3DS Wario Shipyard. I did this mostly because we haven't had a 3DS track since Wave 3. And I don't think this is going to be a Nitro or a tour track since we had a third tour track in Feather Cup. There's really no reason too much for it being Wario Shipyard other than it's in tour. This could also be stuff like Rosalina's Ice World. One of the Woohoo tracks would be pretty cool. It could be a bunch of 3DS tracks. If we don't get SNES Bowser's Castle 2, this could also be 3DS Bowser's Castle. I don't know, there's just so much it could be. Moving on to Wave 6, we got, and I believe are the final two confirmed tracks. Well, quote-unquote confirmed tracks to the Music League, which are Vancouver Velocity and Maple Treeway. Yeah, Vancouver Velocity is typically considered the best of the tour tracks. And, yeah, Last Wave. It seems like an odd choice, but you know, that's acceptable. Maple Treeway, again, a really famous one. This one is in the music. It, by the way, sounds fantastic, the intro bit. Another great example of music tracks where the beginning is not in the rest of the song, because you have the dun 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 dun, which doesn't repeat. So that's obviously what was leaked, because it doesn't repeat in the main song. For the blanks, I actually put actual tracks here, because, again, with the exception of Wave 5, with the two waves we already have, and what we know of Wave 3, and what the prefixes show of Wave 4, the chances of getting a third non-proper retro in the first cup of a wave is less likely, as the only one that does it is the Feather Cup instead of the Double Cherry Cup, having an extra tour track. So I do think the extra tour or nitro track is going to be in Wave 6's second cup. So I put DS Luigi's Mansion and N64 Bowser's Castle. I put Luigi's Mansion in here just because it's really famous, and I don't know. It feels wrong to me, as someone who didn't grow up with DS, it seems really wrong to me not to have Airship Fortress and Luigi's Mansion in the Booster Course Pass, especially when the likes of Peach Gardens and Shroom Ridge, which are less popular tracks, are in the Booster Course Pass. Now, obviously, Peach Gardens is pretty popular because of Mario Kart Wii, but it just seems weird to have Shroom Ridge and not Luigi's Mansion. Since I also decided not to put a 3DS track in Wave 6, I still wanted that second Booster Course Pass Bowser's Castle, and since I don't think it's going to be Wii, I don't think there's going to be a GBA track in this wave, and I don't think there's going to be an SNES track in this wave. I was like, okay, I'll put in N64 Bowser's Castle. Probably the most well-liked one, if I had to guess. So it definitely deserves to be Mario Kart 8. It's a fun course, and I'd love to see it. Moving on to the final cup, we got two blank tours. Technically, only one of them's like prefix-wise blank. I do think it's going to be a tour track and not a nitro. I really think Sky High Sunday is the only nitro track we're going to get. And if I had to guess, the only reason it is actually going to be a nitro is because I have a feeling they swapped out tracks that were supposed to be in Wave 2. Is if I had to guess, I honestly think we were supposed to get a third city track in Wave 2, but one of them wasn't ready for some reason. I genuinely think the Sky High Sunday was not intended to be a nitro track in 8. Especially since it just got announced for Mario Kart Tour. So I do think that this will be a tour track. GCN Mushroom City. I don't know. I just feel like this is the most likely one. I don't think they're going to intentionally choose two tracks in the Booster Course wave that share music. So obviously, Wario Stadium and Waluigi Pinball share music, but only one of them is Booster Course Pass. So I don't think we're going to get Daisy Cruiser and Peach Beach, or Waluigi Stadium and Wario Coliseum. all in the Booster Course Pass. So I do think we're going to get one of the remaining ones. I don't think we're going to get GCN Bowser Castle. I don't think we're getting GCN Rainbow Road. So I think it's between Mushroom City and Mushroom Bridge. I personally like Mushroom City better, so I put it. Wii Rainbow Road, I also think is really likely. The only other wave that has 2 tracks from one game is Wave 3. And we know one of those is going to almost for sure be 3DS Rainbow Road. So, again, I think, well, I didn't asterisk it. I think it is honestly pretty safe to put a little asterisk next to the Wii Rainbow Road. I still didn't, though. That being said, it would be really cool if one of these tour tracks was a tour Rainbow Road. Not like the remix Rainbow Roads. I hate those. But like a proper, brand new tour Rainbow Road. That would be really cool. Although unlikely. If I had to guess, we're actually going to get 2 cities here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this prediction. Sorry the video is a little bit longer than I wanted. But, I don't know. I feel like there's a part of me that feels like that this musically is baked from Nintendo. Because they can't be... I mean, they're a billion-dollar company. They can't be so ignorant to, like, the Datamines. They have to know that the prefixes in the banner leaked during Wave 1. So, you would have thought they would have been extra careful not to leave anything behind in Wave 2. I don't know. I think the music itself is real. There's a part of me that feels like plans are going to change. But, who knows? If all these data mines combined are accurate, I'm pretty happy with what we have ahead of us. Anyways, see you next time, racers.